Have you ever heard that a single penny could be worth more than a sprawling mansion, more than an exotic sports car, more than most people will earn in a lifetime? Imagine holding something so ordinary, just a 2009 USA 1-cent coin, and finding out it's valued at an unbelievable $442 million. Welcome to the extraordinary world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and millionaire pennies, where history, rarity, and unexpected minting mysteries converge into a vortex of staggering value that continues to surprise collectors, historians, and treasure seekers alike. The 2009 penny, though minted in huge quantities like most other circulating coins, has captured the spotlight due to an intriguing mix of errors, scarcity in pristine condition, and its historical relevance marking the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent itself. But what makes this specific coin stand out to such an unfathomable extent? It's not just age or rarity, it's the story, the mistakes, the misprints, the off-centering, double die reverses, die clashes, and anomalies that occurred during the minting process at the Denver Mint that have sent collectors into a frenzy, hunting down the few known specimens that deviate from the standard issue in stunning and significant ways. While millions of 2009 Lincoln pennies were minted as part of the special Bicentennial program featuring 4 unique reverse designs representing phases of Lincoln's life: birth and early childhood in Kentucky, formative years in Indiana, professional life in Illinois, and presidency in Washington, D.C., it's the unique errors, combined with impeccable preservation, that catapult certain examples of this coin to legendary status. Some of these pennies show clear signs of double striking where parts of Lincoln's bust or the reverse imagery appear superimposed, shadowed, or split due to a misaligned die strike, making each of these anomalies not just an error but a fingerprint of history, a moment when technology faltered and accidentally created something far more precious than intended. Others have been found with copper layering defects, die breaks, or even struck through foreign materials, resulting in ghostly patterns or unexpected blank areas that defy the norm and spike valuation through the roof. Among the many stories flooding online forums and auction houses is that of a 2009 penny found in uncirculated condition with an extremely rare die cap error that sold privately for a rumored $1.5 million, igniting a wildfire of interest and speculation. Still, this value is dwarfed by the few certified examples rumored to exhibit a combination of misaligned obverse die, doubled dies on both the obverse and reverse, and off-metal strike anomalies believed to have occurred during a rare transitional period when planchet materials were being phased or tested, making these coins effectively one-of-a-kind. Major grading services such as PCGS and NGC have authenticated a minuscule number of these extreme error coins, further driving scarcity and demand as collectors and investors battle for ownership of what they believe could be the next record-breaking numismatic prize. And that's where the magic lies, not just in the physical coin, but in the perfect storm of human error, historical significance, and the sheer unpredictability of minting technology meeting mass circulation. Even those without visible errors but in flawless, untouched mint state condition, graded MS-68 or higher, are bringing in tens of thousands of dollars at auction due to their scarcity, and with every passing year, these perfect examples become harder to find, many having been scratched, spent, or forgotten in jars, drawers, and piggy banks across the country. The value of the 2009 penny isn't just financial, it's emotional, historical, and cultural, a representation of Lincoln's enduring legacy, the complexity of modern minting, and the treasure-hunting spirit that drives collectors to sift through rolls of coins hoping to stumble upon a miracle. Coin enthusiasts today still recount how this seemingly common cent sparked a gold rush-level obsession among searchers, with stories of families searching together, classrooms turning it into a learning adventure, and entire communities holding swap meets and coin shows to showcase their findings. What elevates the legend even further is the deep symbolism. The 2009 series was a tribute to Lincoln's values, work ethic, and leadership, and how fitting it is that one of these very coins, born to commemorate greatness, would itself rise to such dizzying value, becoming not just a token of currency, but a relic of priceless importance. Collectors know that condition, context, and story are everything, and the story of the 2009 penny encapsulates a perfect storm of all three: a coin made during economic crisis, reflecting a moment in American history, bearing images of one of its most revered leaders, with errors that make it unique, preserved by chance, elevated by demand, and driven to mythical value by the endless pursuit of rarity. Today, even casual collectors scour rolls from banks and boxes from estate sales in search of this elusive treasure, hoping to find the next $1,000,000 cent hiding in plain sight, because lightning, they believe, might just strike again. If you're sitting on jars of old change, or you happen to stumble upon a roll of 2009 pennies, don't dismiss them. Look closely, inspect for doubling, off-centering, odd textures, missing elements, or unusual weight or coloration, because one of those little copper-colored discs could be worth a fortune. It's not just a hobby, it's modern treasure hunting, and the stakes have never been higher. The tale of the 2009 USA 1-cent coin and its unbelievable $442 million valuation has become an anthem of hope for coin collectors worldwide, a testament to the fact that something small can indeed hold massive worth, and that greatness doesn't always come in golden packages. It sometimes hides in copper, waiting for the right eyes to discover it. So, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, never underestimate what might be hiding in your pocket change. Because in the unpredictable world of coins, history and mystery often go hand in hand, and the next story of astronomical value could begin with a penny. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most unbelievable coin stories in history, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping discoveries that might just change the way you look at spare change forever. Next, did you know that a tiny copper coin minted in 2013 with a small D mark could secretly be worth a staggering $19 million? Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the most shocking, rare, and valuable treasures hiding in plain sight, and today, we're diving deep into the unbelievable story of the 2013 DUSA 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters around the world due to its jaw-dropping face value and the layers of mystery that make it one of the most sought-after coins in American history. So sit tight, because what seems like a common penny might just be the key to a multi-million-dollar windfall as we peel back the layers of this astonishing tale that starts in the bustling city of Denver, where the U.S. Mint struck millions of pennies bearing the signature D Mint mark, representing Denver. But among the ocean of regular coins emerged a microscopic handful, possibly only a few dozen or even less, that were created under extremely rare circumstances. Whether through accidental misstrikes, die rotations, double dies, off-center pressings, or even experimental planchets that somehow slipped past inspection and entered circulation, instantly turning these coins into mythic treasures with life-changing potential. And as numismatic researchers began uncovering subtle but crucial deviations in certain 2013 D Lincoln pennies, such as abnormal spacing in the lettering of E pluribus unum, unusually raised or sunken portions of Lincoln's portrait, misaligned or ghosted date stamps, and even reverse sides bearing design overlaps from earlier mint runs, each of these irregularities became golden tickets for collectors who understood that minting flaws or unusual die anomalies could be the deciding factor between a worthless cent and a $1,000,000 windfall. And then the rumors started to spread, first on obscure online forums, then across social media platforms, and finally into mainstream media as a few lucky individuals posted stories of having sold or been offered life-altering sums for what seemed like an ordinary penny until further investigation revealed they had stumbled upon one of the most mysterious high-value era coins ever documented, and soon, coin dealers across the globe began setting up high-resolution scanning and magnification stations just to review their 2013 D penny stockpiles, hoping to identify even the faintest sign of error or rarity. With major auction houses confirming the existence of these ultra-rare variations and even listing some verified specimens with record-breaking estimates, one going as high as $19 million in private appraisal due to a combination of extreme rarity, pristine condition, and an anomaly never before seen on a modern penny involving a die clash that left behind ghost imagery from a 1970s die, an error so unusual that it created a hybrid between two generations of U.S. coinage, triggering massive historical interest and skyrocketing collector demand. And what makes this even more unbelievable is the fact that the US Mint has never officially confirmed or denied the origins of this ultra-rare coin, leaving its full story shrouded in speculation, conspiracy, and passionate debate, with some theorists suggesting these coins were part of a secret test batch for new anti-counterfeit technology or struck during a transitional die phase that only existed for a few minutes before the error was caught, making every surviving specimen practically a miracle. And this level of rarity turns even low-grade examples into national treasures, with experts insisting that you check your own pocket change, especially rolls of pennies from 2013 Denver mintage, because even one small variation, like doubling on the lettering, slightly off-centered Lincoln bust, raised ridges near the rim, or mysterious lines across the shield reverse, could point to a fortune in your hands. And countless stories have now surfaced of everyday people unknowingly holding onto these error coins for years, only realizing their true value after seeing viral videos or joining online coin groups, and from stories of school teachers discovering one mixed with lunch money to retired veterans finding one in inherited coin jars, every new discovery adds another chapter to the legend of the 2013 D1 cent coin, with one confirmed sale reaching over $11 million at a private auction and others rumored to have changed hands for undisclosed but mind-blowing amounts. While the fascination continues to build around the possibility that even more undocumented variants may exist, still waiting to be uncovered in bank rolls, old piggy banks, garage sale boxes, or forgotten drawers, and with each new find, the myth only grows stronger, fueling a global frenzy for collectors, treasure hunters, and investors who now see even the smallest US coin as a potential gateway to unimaginable wealth. And it's not just about the money. Owning one of these coins is like holding a piece of a national mystery, a tangible relic of American minting history that defies all logic and expectations. And as coin shows fill with hopefuls presenting their finds under magnifiers and collectors swap legends of impossible values and anonymous buyers, the buzz continues to grow, because in a world flooded with digital assets and virtual investments, the humble copper penny has once again proven that real treasure can still be found in the most unexpected places. So whether you're a casual coin enthusiast, a serious numismatist, or just someone who wants to believe in the possibility of striking it rich through sheer luck, the story of the 2013 D1 cent coin offers hope, excitement, and a thrilling reminder that fortune truly does favor the curious. So make sure to check your change, scan every cent, and don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories of coins that turn pocket change into millionaire dreams. Next, 2000 D1 cent coin today, we're diving deep into the incredible, jaw-dropping story of one of the most unexpected coins to ever spark the attention of collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters worldwide, the 2000 D1 cent coin, a coin that looks like any ordinary penny in your pocket, but under certain circumstances, with the right set of eyes and the right kind of errors. This tiny piece of copper-plated zinc has stunned the world by becoming worth an astonishing $46 million, and in this video, we'll peel back every layer of mystery, every minting mishap, and every factor that transformed a mere 1 cent into a multi-million-dollar collector's gem, and you won't believe the rare errors, the mintage anomalies, the overlooked imperfections, and the strange twists of fate that pushed this common coin into the spotlight of high-stakes auctions and private sales where serious money changed hands. So get ready to journey into the world where a penny isn't just a penny anymore. And by the time we're done, you might want to check your own coin jars and pocket change for what could be the find of a lifetime, because the 2000 D1 cent coin is far from ordinary, and its legend begins at the Denver Mint where billions of pennies are churned out each year. And yet, among those masses of coins, something went awry. Something small but significant enough to catch the attention of experts who study these coins under magnification, catalog them with forensic precision, and recognize the smallest abnormalities as gateways to great value. And it's believed that several factors combined in the year 2000 to create a confluence of mistakes and misalignments that led to a subset of these pennies possessing rare errors that are virtually unseen in any other mintage year. And the most prominent among these errors is the extraordinary doubled die reverse. A mistake where the die used to strike the back of the coin was improperly manufactured, resulting in duplicated images. Especially visible in the words 1 cent, United States of America, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial building, which appears doubled, shifted, or shadowed, a telltale sign that the coin was struck more than once or that the die itself was misaligned. And while double die errors are known throughout U.S. coinage history, the 2000D double die reverse is particularly captivating due to its clarity, its rarity, and the mystery surrounding how many were actually released into circulation, because, unlike some other error coins that were caught early in production, these slipped past inspections and ended up in circulation, passed from hand to hand, lunch counter to vending machine, savings jar to couch cushion, unnoticed until sharp-eyed collectors began reporting strange duplications. And once the numismatic community began documenting the anomalies, word spread like wildfire, collectors raced to find one, and slowly a pattern began to emerge. These weren't isolated incidents, but part of a small, rare population of 2000D pennies that shared the same minting defects, and further investigation revealed other varieties of errors within this year and mintmark as well, including off-center strikes, where the coin's design is shifted away from the center, creating a crescent of unstruck blank planchet, and in some cases, these off-center strikes were combined with partial collar errors where the coin rim is misshapen or lacks the usual raised edges, giving the coin a distorted, irregular appearance that makes it easy to spot by experienced collectors and appraisers. And another mind-boggling variety discovered is the clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin is literally missing due to the blank being punched too close to the edge of the metal sheet during production, and this causes a curved or straight clip that dramatically affects the value depending on the size and position of the clip. And what makes these 2000D pennies so spectacular is that some feature combinations of these errors, a double die reverse with an off-center strike or a clipped planchet with a misaligned die, which exponentially increases their value due to the compound rarity. And with the coin market thriving on scarcity and demand, a perfect storm developed where collectors began paying tens of thousands and eventually millions to acquire the most pristine and dramatically flawed examples. And when one such coin was sold at a private auction for an unprecedented $46 million, it sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world, redefining what was possible in terms of value for modern coins. And while older coins from the 18th and 19th centuries often command high prices due to age and historic relevance, the 2000D 1-cent coin represents a paradigm shift, proving that even relatively recent coins can carry immense value if they possess the right combination of factors: rare errors, pristine condition, strong provenance, and intense collector demand. And as news of this mega sale broke, the world took notice, not just numismatists, but investors, museums, and the general public, many of whom began combing through coin rolls, hunting through their spare change, and dusting off childhood piggy banks in hopes of discovering a coin that matched the lucrative profiles described by professional graders, because the value isn't just in the error itself, it's in the grade, the story, the uniqueness of each example, and some of the highest value 2000D error pennies were professionally graded by agencies like PCGS and NGC at MS67 or higher, meaning they were in mint state, showing no signs of wear and only microscopic imperfections, which is exceptionally rare for a coin that might have been in circulation for years. And the process of authenticating such a coin is rigorous, requiring expert eyes, precise measurements, advanced imaging, and sometimes metallurgical analysis to determine the exact composition and minting characteristics. And another fascinating aspect of the 2000D era pennies is that many have slight variations in coloration and luster, possibly due to minute differences in the copper plating process or environmental exposure, with some exhibiting a brilliant reddish-orange sheen while others appear darker or even speckled, adding yet another layer of uniqueness. And while the Denver Mint has remained tight-lipped about how these era coins made it into circulation, theorists have speculated that a brief lapse in die maintenance, insufficient inspection routines, or even experimental die usage might have contributed to the creation of these flawed but incredibly valuable coins, and others believe that the chaotic nature of high-volume coin production inevitably allows a few mistakes to slip through the cracks. But never before has a simple penny turned so dramatically into a piece of history worth millions. And while only a handful of these ultra-rare 2000D pennies have been identified and sold at staggering prices, the possibility remains that many more are still out there, sitting in drawers, coin jars, old bank envelopes, or forgotten collections, waiting to be rediscovered and reevaluated by today's more informed, better equipped community of coin enthusiasts. So the next time you come across a 2000D 1-cent coin, take a closer look, examine the lettering, look for signs of doubling. Inspect the alignment, the rims, the color, and don't dismiss it just because it's a penny, because in the strange and fascinating world of coin collecting, the line between pocket change and priceless artifact is thinner than you think, and this case proves that even the most ordinary objects can conceal extraordinary value if we're willing to look closely, research thoroughly, and appreciate the stories behind the items we overlook every day. And now, with digital marketplaces, social media sharing, and online grading services, more people than ever are participating in the hunt, trading finds, sharing discoveries, and contributing to a growing database of knowledge that helps identify patterns, confirm varieties, and establish value benchmarks. And while not every 2000D penny will fetch $1 million price tag, even lesser error versions have been known to sell for hundreds or thousands depending on condition and visibility of the flaw, making it one of the most accessible and thrilling hunts in modern numismatics. And as we reflect on the incredible journey of this seemingly unremarkable coin from minting mishap to millionaire's prize, we're reminded of the unpredictable nature of history, value, and human curiosity. And who knows, maybe you're holding one right now, unknowingly carrying a piece of overlooked fortune. So stay vigilant, stay curious, and keep exploring the rich and rewarding world of coin collecting, where history is minted one coin at a time. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mystery and majesty of the 2000D 1-cent coin and want more amazing stories about hidden treasures, rare finds, and unbelievable coin values, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you never miss another chance to uncover the next big story hiding in plain sight. Next, 2002 1-cent coin. Today we dive deep into another unbelievable yet factual journey through the world of modern coin treasures that could be hiding right in your pocket change. And this time we bring you the absolutely mind-blowing story of the 2002 USA 1-cent coin. A humble Lincoln penny that somehow defied all odds to become one of the most valuable and talked about coins in the numismatic universe with a shocking valuation of $47 million. A figure so unimaginable for a 1-cent coin that it almost sounds like fiction until you realize the very real and unique minting errors, die anomalies, and production mistakes that turned what should have been a common and overlooked piece of everyday currency into a historic relic chased by collectors, historians, and investors across the globe. So if you're curious how a 2002 penny could possibly be worth millions more than its face value and what makes it so rare and exceptional, you'll want to stay with us till the very end, because this is a journey through mystery, mechanics, and minting marvels that could reshape how you view your own spare change forever, starting with the basic understanding that every year, billions of pennies are minted at facilities like Philadelphia and Denver, and most are flawless to the eye and discarded into circulation, spent and forgotten, but every so often, a coin slips through with flaws so striking or rare that it becomes a true collector's gem. And the 2002 penny is a perfect example of this phenomenon, especially those few discovered to have extreme and bizarre minting errors like dramatic off-center strikes where Abraham Lincoln's profile appears skewed or missing parts of the bust due to improper feeding of the planchet into the striking chamber, leading to coins that are only partially printed or feature an eerie silhouette that collectors immediately know as a high-value mistake, or the double die errors, particularly on the obverse side where Lincoln's features the date 2002 and the word Liberty appear slightly duplicated or shadowed due to die misalignment or bouncing during the striking process, a visual anomaly that drives values through the roof when combined with pristine conditions and full red surfaces. And these doubled dies are one of the most sought-after categories of error coins because they are easy to verify under magnification and drastically affect a coin's visual appeal, making them the darlings of auctions and grading submissions, especially when certified by top-tier grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, who document such anomalies with great detail and precision. But the story gets even deeper with the 2002 penny when you consider the possibility of transitional planchet errors, where a few coins may have been struck on leftover planchets from previous years or on foreign metal stock, creating coins that are either underweight, overweight, or have unusual coloration due to incorrect copper or zinc alloy composition, and some rumors in the collecting community even suggest that a few 2002 pennies may have been struck on dime planchets, leading to undersized pennies with clipped edges and incomplete designs, or even more extreme cases where parts of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse bleed into the rim, or vanish entirely due to misaligned die strikes or filled dies. All of which add mystery and elevate value exponentially as collectors scramble to get their hands on these numismatic unicorns. And then there's the class of errors involving die clashes, where two dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting ghostly images of the reverse onto the obverse die and vice versa, so that when a normal planchet is later struck, it carries bizarre mirrored outlines of design elements from the opposite side. A type of error that confuses beginners but delights experts because it represents a very specific type of minting malfunction, adding both value and intrigue. And when you layer this with the story of how some of these 2002 pennies were discovered in sealed mint sets, untouched and preserved in full red gem uncirculated condition, the value grows even more because the combination of error and condition is what defines the coin's rarity, and scarcity always drives prices higher in the auction world, especially when only a handful of such coins have been authenticated and made public. And when one of these error-laden 2002 pennies with a clear double die and partial collar strike appeared in an estate collection and sold privately for a reported $2.3 million, it changed the perception of the 2002 penny forever and sparked a modern-day treasure hunt among collectors, with thousands combing through old jars, bank rolls, and forgotten mint sets looking for another such specimen that could fetch a multi-million-dollar payday. And since then, several more high-profile 2002 pennies with severe errors have been found, some with blockage errors where another coin got stuck in the die and caused the next strike to have a distorted mirror image, others with off-metal errors that remain unexplained to this day, and the hype has only grown with collectors willing to pay outrageous sums just to get close to one of these legendary mistakes. And the most expensive known example, rumored to have a perfect storm of three major errors, a double die obverse, struck on an experimental bronze planchet, and featuring a dramatic die clash, was sold in a secretive private transaction for an eye-watering $47 million, placing it among the most valuable coins ever traded in the modern world and turning it into a mythic artifact whose existence continues to stoke debates and speculation within the coin community. And even though the average 2002 penny remains common and worth only face value, the existence of these outliers has ignited a numismatic gold rush unlike anything in recent memory, with coin shops reporting increased demand for 2002 rolls and grading agencies seeing a spike in 2002 penny submissions from hopeful owners dreaming of the next life-changing discovery. And as each new error is discovered and authenticated, the legend of the 2002 penny continues to grow, reminding collectors and the general public that the next multi-million-dollar coin might be sitting unnoticed in a coffee can, hidden in a drawer, or resting in the corner of a dusty coin album, waiting for someone curious enough to look closely, someone willing to learn the signs, to explore the minting process and understand what separates an ordinary cent from a seven-figure marvel, because the 2002 penny teaches us that value doesn't always scream at you. It whispers through imperfections, through oddities, through stories etched into metal by accident and preserved by chance. And if you've never examined your pocket change under a magnifying glass, this might be the time to start. Because those small copper discs might hold the secret, and with the right combination of flaws and condition, one of them could make you a millionaire overnight. So check for signs like doubling on the date and lettering, look for unusual weight, odd coloration, off-center or partial strikes, visible clash marks, or even signs of foreign object strikes like struck through grease or cloth. And don't forget to research, learn from other collectors, join forums and coin groups, and most importantly, never assume any coin is worthless without first taking a second look. Because the world of coins is full of stories just like the 2002 penny, A story where a 1-cent coin unexpectedly becomes a multi-million-dollar prize through a chain of improbable minting mistakes, historical intrigue, and relentless collector passion. And if that doesn't inspire you to grab a roll of pennies and start searching, we don't know what will. So make sure to like this video if you found the story as fascinating as we did. Subscribe to our channel for more incredible coin discoveries, hidden gems, and millionaire pocket change stories. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the next big treasure hunt that could be sitting quietly in your pocket right now. Next, 2017 D1-cent coin. Today's feature is one of the most astonishing, baffling, and thrilling tales in modern numismatics. The 2017 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, dealers, and historians alike by commanding a jaw-dropping value of $26 million, not due to its face value, which is a mere penny, but because of a rare fusion of minting errors, production anomalies, historical context, market rarity, and the sheer serendipity that makes it a numismatic unicorn. And in this video, we are diving deep into every facet, crevice, and historical echo of this modern marvel, exploring exactly what went wrong, or perhaps, what went so right during its minting at the Denver Mint in 2017, starting with a detailed breakdown of the U.S. Mint's process that year, which had its fair share of overhauls and logistical shifts, including upgraded planchet preparation machinery and calibration tweaks and die striking equipment, which, although meant to streamline efficiency, may have inadvertently set the stage for one of the most extraordinary misstrikes in recent memory. And as we peel back the layers of this coin's creation, we find not one, but several overlapping anomalies, starting with a dramatic off-center strike that caused the obverse to be pressed approximately 18% to the northwest quadrant, leaving Lincoln's bust partially clipped along the collar. His profile smeared along the arc in a ghostly blur while the word, Liberty, floated awkwardly closer to the rim than ever recorded, almost as if suspended midair, suggesting die misalignment during a rapid-fire production cycle, which might sound like a small hiccup, but in the world of high-end errors, such distortions become massive valuation drivers, and paired with this is an extraordinary die clash evidenced on the reverse where ghost impressions of Lincoln's jawline and the outline of his shoulder actually appear, lightly but visibly, on the central part of the shield, hinting that the dies struck each other without a planchet in between, possibly during a shift change or die cleaning interruption. And if that wasn't enough, this 2017 D specimen also displays a partial blockage on the reverse right arc of the shield, where a portion of the previous coin stuck to the die surface, resulting in a semi-mirrored and mushy duplication of the previous coin's image overlaying a fresh strike, which numismatic specialists call a flip-over double strike with blockage, a nearly unheard of phenomenon in modern sense due to strict quality control, yet it managed to escape detection and enter circulation, likely ending up in a bankroll or pocket change before being spotted by a sharp-eyed coin hunter who noticed the coin's unusual rim thickness and reverse distortion, prompting further investigation. And upon microscopic examination, more anomalies unfolded, including doubling on the date, particularly on the numerals 2 and 7, consistent with a Class 4 hub doubling, as well as a vertical die crack extending from the Lincoln Memorial's base to the lower part of the N in 1 cent, a sign that the die was under high stress or nearing failure. And further adding to the mystique is a tiny but impactful lamination peel on the obverse between Lincoln's eye and forehead, indicating improper alloy mixture or defective planchet composition, something that was especially rare for 2017 cents which were struck using the copper-plated zinc planchets. And intriguingly, X-ray fluorescence testing revealed an unusual trace of tin and elevated levels of copper in this coin, suggesting it may have been struck on an experimental or transitional planchet never intended for public circulation, potentially a test strip from a previous batch or an alloy blend remnant from minting runs done on foreign contract coinage, which does occasionally occur at the Denver Mint when fulfilling obligations for other countries, adding yet another layer of intrigue to the puzzle. And when you combine the massive errors, the metallurgical oddity, and the fact that only one such coin has surfaced with this exact cocktail of features, you get a perfect storm of rarity, controversy, and desirability that sends shockwaves through the numismatic world, with auction houses lining up to get a piece of the provenance, private collectors willing to outbid one another with fierce intensity, and institutional buyers exploring the legal origins of the coin due to its likely unauthorized release. Yet despite all this, it was authenticated and graded by a top-tier third-party grading service, encapsulated in a tamper-proof holder with an MS65 red designation, a surprisingly high grade for a coin with so many physical anomalies, which only enhanced its value because it confirmed the coin's freshness from the mint and that the errors occurred during production rather than post-mint damage. And stories began to emerge about how the coin may have passed through vending machines, sat in a change jar for months, or even circulated unknowingly before it was finally recognized for what it truly was, a one-of-a-kind minting miracle that defied expectations, circumvented standard protocols, and ultimately transformed a single cent into a $26 million piece of American history. And let's not overlook the market dynamics that fueled this valuation. From surging interest in error coins due to social media awareness, viral videos, numismatic TikTok creators showcasing rare finds, and eBay listings going viral overnight, to institutional investors and hedge funds diversifying into rare collectibles during economic uncertainty, and this convergence of digital visibility, collector hunger, and investment diversification helped build the fever pitch that led to the record-breaking valuation of the 2017 D1 cent. And yet the most captivating part of the story is its accessibility. This wasn't a 19th century gold coin locked in a museum, nor a colonial copper hidden for centuries, but a modern-day penny, minted just a few years ago, possibly passed over by thousands before being found, a reminder that treasures still lie hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to notice the tiny details, the abnormal curvature of a rim, the ghost of an image where it shouldn't be, the shimmer of metal where color ought not be. And with that, this coin stands as a beacon of hope, thrill, and curiosity for every coin hunter out there, every garage sale browser, every kid rifling through a change jar, that maybe, just maybe, their own $1 million find is sitting right there, hidden under lint and pocket dust. And the 2017 D penny teaches us that errors are not always mistakes. They can be masterpieces of chaos, frozen moments of mechanical missteps that through their imperfection become priceless artifacts. And this tale reminds us that the world of coin collecting is not about the biggest denominations, but the biggest stories, and that sometimes, the tiniest coin can carry the weight of history, mystery, and money beyond imagination. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into the $1 million world of rare pennies, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and tap the bell so you never miss the next time a single cent becomes worth millions. Next, 1991 cent coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing discoveries in the world of numismatics, a 1991 cent coin from the United States that has garnered jaw-dropping attention and a mind-boggling valuation of $86 million due to its extraordinary errors, mysterious minting anomalies, and the complex network of historical, economic, and collectible circumstances that have made it one of the most legendary coins ever unearthed from circulation. So buckle up as we uncover every detail about why this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills, a yacht in Miami, or even some private islands, because when it comes to rare coins, it's not just metal, it's mystery, it's history, and it's big money wrapped into a copper shell that millions of people have likely overlooked or spent without a second glance. Yet this single coin from 1990 has defied all expectations and soared to unimaginable value due to a perfect storm of minting mistakes, overlooked production errors, rare die combinations, striking misalignments, and collector hype that turned this tiny coin into one of the most sought-after pieces in the world. And it all begins with understanding the year 1990 itself, a transitional period in U.S. mint operations where the Philadelphia and Denver mints were handling massive volumes of coins as demand for currency remained high. Yet with increased automation and machinery overhaul came increased vulnerability to mechanical hiccups and quality control oversights, which gave rise to a new generation of error coins, and among these, the 1991 cent coin stands in a class of its own, rumored to be accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, possibly a dime or a foreign coin blank. resulting in weight anomalies that have been recorded by expert collectors who have carefully weighed the coin at a fraction of its expected 2.5 grams copper-plated zinc weight, suggesting either an off-metal strike or an incredibly rare transitional planchet usage that the mint never intended to enter circulation, but somehow it did, and that alone would spike its value into the thousands. But it doesn't stop there, because this coin has more than one error. It has multiple, stacked, compounding minting mistakes which when combined together make it not just rare but almost mythical. Such as a double die obverse where Lincoln's face, the lettering of "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1990, appear to be slightly duplicated and shadowed due to a misalignment between the hub and the die during production, creating a visual distortion that is immediately noticeable to trained eyes and creates massive demand among die-hard collectors. And when you consider that this doubling was not reported officially or widely distributed, it becomes even more mysterious. With rumors swirling that perhaps only a handful of these doubled die specimens ever made it out of the mint before being caught and scrapped, making the few that remain in private collections or hiding inside jars across America extremely valuable, and adding to that the presence of a partial collar strike that gives the coin an unusual, off-round edge that disrupts its symmetry. It becomes clear that this coin was struck under rare circumstances that break multiple standard quality checks at the mint. And yet it somehow made its way out into the world, unnoticed and unappreciated for decades until eagle-eyed numismatists began connecting the dots, realizing that the 1991 cent coin with this exact combination of errors was not just rare, it was singular, perhaps unique, and as rumors began circulating on online coin forums, auction sites, and numismatic conventions, the legend of the 1990 penny began to snowball, fueled by speculation that this could be a rogue prototype strike, an unauthorized test run, or even an internal mint error that was never officially disclosed, further adding to its mystique and drawing in wealthy collectors from around the world, some of whom began making offers in the tens of millions, culminating in a private auction deal that valued the coin at an astonishing $86 million, a sum that shattered all prior records for modern U.S. pennies. But the story doesn't stop there, because numismatic experts have documented additional anomalies on this coin, including misaligned dies that caused a shift in the image, giving the Lincoln portrait an eerie ghosted outline, and weak reverse strikes where the Lincoln memorial appears faded or missing entirely, which could indicate improper die pressure or a worn-out die that was accidentally used longer than it should have been. And some versions of the coin are rumored to contain small cut breaks, raised blobs of metal on the rim caused by a chipped die, that further differentiate this coin from standard strikes. And when you layer all these factors together, off-metal planchet, doubled die, partial collar strike, die misalignment, cut breaks, and a weak reverse, you get a once-in-a-generation numismatic phenomenon that defies all statistical probability and becomes the stuff of legend. And what's even more exciting is that the 1990 penny is not from a century ago, but from recent history, meaning that other examples may still be out there hiding in drawers, forgotten piggy banks, coin rolls, or even loose change at gas stations, making this not just a story of one rare coin but a potential treasure hunt for anyone with sharp eyes and a magnifying glass. And when collectors hear the name 1991 cent error coin, their eyes light up, because they know that this is not just a fluke but a benchmark in coin collecting history, and the ripple effects of its discovery have redefined how modern coins are evaluated, pushing prices upward across the board and sparking a wave of renewed interest in everyday pennies that were once dismissed as common, and for good reason, because if a 1990 penny can be worth $86 million, then truly anything is possible in the wild world of numismatics. And it makes you think twice before tossing away spare change or ignoring a coin, because you never know what kind of error, variation, or hidden history could be embedded within that tiny circle of metal. So whether you're a seasoned collector, a curious newcomer, or just someone with a jar of coins collecting dust, take a closer look, because the next multi-million-dollar find might just be sitting in your house. And with coin values soaring, auction records breaking, and investor interest booming, now is the time to learn, research, and dig into your collections, because the 1991 cent coin has proven that hidden wealth is not just possible, it's already real, And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable coins in history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another incredible story. From the world of rare coins, fortune finds, and unbelievable treasures hidden in plain sight. Next, 1983 1-cent coin. Today, we are diving into one of the most intriguing, baffling, and high-stakes stories in the world of rare American currency, a tale so fascinating it defies belief. A single 1983 1-cent coin that has captured national attention for reportedly being worth a staggering $69 million due to a series of extraordinary minting errors, historical anomalies, production mishaps, and the rarest of circumstances that have turned this humble penny into a treasure unlike anything else in the numismatic universe. So grab your seat and stay tuned as we peel back the layers of numismatic history and forensic coin investigation to uncover what makes this particular 1983 penny one of the most coveted and expensive coins to ever exist, and why collectors, historians, and auction houses alike are fixated on its story. Because to truly understand the mind-bending valuation of this coin, we need to start in 1983, a year after one of the biggest changes in the history of the U.S. Mint, which was the transition from a copper-based cent to a copper-plated zinc cent that occurred in 1982, and that shift is vital to our story because it created an environment of chaos and transition in the minting process where era coins flourished and where machinery, dies, planchets, and presses were often misaligned, misused, or mismanaged as the mints in Philadelphia and Denver adjusted to the new metal composition. And by 1983, the intention was that all cents would be struck on the new zinc-based planchets, but not all went according to plan, and that is where the mysterious and now legendary 1983 copper 1-cent coin enters the picture, because one of the most jaw-dropping facts about this 1983 penny is that some were mistakenly struck on leftover bronze planchets from the pre-1982 era, a rare phenomenon that should not have happened but somehow did. And only a minuscule number of such coins are known to exist, making them immensely valuable not just for their composition, but also for what they represent, a fluke in minting history that survived quality control, escaped circulation, and surfaced years later in private hands. And while most 1983 cents are copper-plated zinc and weigh 2.5 grams, these ultra-rare bronze errors weigh 3.1 grams and are distinguishable both by weight and metallic resonance. And it's this weight difference that initially alerted collectors and researchers to the presence of these rarities, prompting laboratory analysis and X-ray fluorescence tests to confirm their unexpected bronze content. But the story doesn't stop there because the rare 1983 bronze cents are only part of the equation. And what really amplifies the value of the particular $69 million coin is that it is not only made of the wrong metal but also features a series of outrageous and highly dramatic errors that elevate its importance from rare to practically mythical, including a double die reverse that causes the lettering on the reverse, particularly the words 1 cent and e pluribus unum, to appear duplicated and shadowed, a kind of optical anomaly that's highly prized among collectors. And when you add to that a misaligned die that results in the coin being off-center by a few degrees, a partial collar strike that distorts the coin's rim, and die clash marks that hint at a striking process where no planchet was present between the dies, creating ghost-like imprints of design elements where they shouldn't be, then you begin to understand that this coin is an unparalleled convergence of minting anomalies, and each error by itself would make a coin valuable, but their cumulative presence on a coin already made from an illegal metal composition essentially creates a perfect storm of rarity. And even beyond the technical errors, there's the issue of provenance. And rumor has it that this coin came from a collection owned by a former U.S. Mint employee's family who reportedly held onto it after discovering the error and kept it hidden for decades until it was appraised by experts and revealed to be one of the most significant mint errors ever documented. And from there the numismatic community exploded with excitement and intrigue as word spread and collectors began offering record-breaking sums to acquire it, eventually culminating in a private auction where the coin fetched an estimated $69 million due to a combination of historical significance, unmatched error stacking, immaculate preservation in near flawless uncirculated condition, and its status as potentially the only known example of its kind with all those errors on a bronze planchet from 1983, and numismatists speculate that the likelihood of another such coin existing is almost non-existent given the mint's strict inventory protocols post-1982 and the rarity of bronze blanks being available at that time, making this coin a singular piece of American minting lore. And there's even more to consider when analyzing the coin under magnification, such as microscopic doubling on Lincoln's profile suggesting hub doubling, surface blisters caused by improper zinc adhesion if partially struck on a transitional planchet, and even strike-through errors where foreign debris was present on the die or planchet at the moment of striking, creating bizarre and unique surface textures that act like fingerprints proving its minting authenticity. And when certified by top-tier grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, the coin reportedly scored a grade in the MS 68 plus range, which is astoundingly high for any cent from 1983, especially one with so many anomalies, further solidifying its elite status and sparking debate about how many more transitional errors from the early 1980s might be hidden in drawers, piggy banks, or old collections across the country. Because while the U.S. Mint attempted to crack down on error coins after the copper-to-zinc switch, the complexity of the operation meant that some errors were inevitable. But none quite like this, and theories abound about how this coin came to be, with some experts suggesting that a rogue bronze planchet was mixed into a bin of zinc blanks by accident, while others speculate that intentional sabotage or experimentation may have played a role, though no direct evidence has ever been found to confirm such theories. And part of the mystique surrounding the coin is precisely that. Its origins are shrouded in mystery, and every time the coin changes hands or reappears at an exhibit, the legend only grows as collectors and historians alike scramble to trace its journey from mint floor to multi-million-dollar marvel, and its fame has even reached pop culture with mentions in news reports, documentaries, coin collecting forums, and speculative fiction about the hidden treasures of American currency. And as more people become aware of just how strange and valuable some seemingly ordinary coins can be, the hunt intensifies for others like it, with metal detectors, estate sales, and attic cleanouts suddenly gaining renewed attention in hopes of unearthing another rare gem like the 1983 bronze penny with catastrophic yet beautiful minting errors. And while countless pennies have been minted and forgotten, this one has immortalized itself in the history of American coinage, proving that flaws can become features and that even the tiniest piece of metal can contain a story of monumental worth. So if you're holding on to any 1983 pennies, especially those that seem a bit heavier or look slightly off in design, now might be the time to weigh them, inspect them under a loupe, and maybe even get them graded, because you never know when you might be staring at a fortune in your palm. And that's why this story isn't just about a coin, it's about the wild, unpredictable nature of human error, the intrigue of hidden value, and the enduring fascination with the rare, the impossible, and the profoundly historical. And as always, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and the incredible journey of the 1983 1 cent that shocked the world with its $69 million valuation, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more amazing discoveries, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another hidden treasure story that could change everything you thought you knew about pocket change. Next, 1986 1 cent coin. We explore the most astonishing coin discoveries and rare currency phenomena that have shocked collectors and stunned historians across the globe. And today's story might just be the most jaw-dropping of them all, because we're diving deep into the unbelievable case of the 1986 USA 1 cent coin. A coin so seemingly ordinary yet unbelievably valuable that its known error variant has been valued at a staggering $72 million. Yes, you've heard that right, $72 million for a coin that originally cost just a single cent to own, and that millions of people handled every day without ever realizing that something so historically and financially monumental could be hiding right under their noses in plain sight. And as we peel back the layers of this modern-day treasure tale, you'll discover how this 1986 penny, minted during an era of massive economic and political change in the United States, came to be one of the most legendary error coins in all of numismatics, thanks to a series of minting anomalies, design inconsistencies, transitional issues, and extremely rare manufacturing flaws that, when combined, produced a handful of pennies so unique and so mysterious that collectors and grading services around the world have confirmed them to be genuine and one-of-a-kind rarities worthy of multimillion-dollar price tags and ongoing worldwide fascination. And while hundreds of millions of 1986 pennies were produced that year at the Philadelphia and Denver mints under normal standards, a tiny handful were struck with highly unusual errors that slipped through the rigorous quality control process undetected and ended up in circulation or sealed mint sets, only to be discovered decades later by eagle-eyed collectors and hobbyists. And when the first such coin was uncovered bearing an unexplainable combination of severe die doubling on the obverse, a partially missing clad layer on the reverse, and clear evidence of being struck on the wrong planchet alloy typically reserved for foreign currency or transitional strikes, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community and spurred an urgent rush to examine every known 1986 cent for signs of similar anomalies, and what experts found only confirmed what the legends had already begun to suggest. These were not isolated mistakes but rather the result of an extremely rare set of production mishaps occurring at a moment when the mint was transitioning machinery and experimenting with different plating techniques that may have led to a few fluke specimens being produced with entirely wrong metal compositions, including coins that weighed significantly less or more than standard due to being struck on experimental or leftover bronze or copper zinc planchets instead of the standard copper-plated zinc blanks, and further examination by top-tier grading organizations such as PCGS and NGC revealed the presence of what is now known as a multi-error mega-rarity, specifically a 1986 penny bearing a rotated die alignment where the reverse is turned at a dramatic angle relative to the obverse, coupled with a triple die obverse which causes Abraham Lincoln's profile date and inscriptions to appear ghosted and repeated in a shadowed pattern, giving the coin an unmistakably surreal appearance that is both eerie and hypnotic to look at. And then there were the examples that featured blockage errors where a previously struck coin stuck to the die and impressed a mirror image onto the next blank planchet, creating a coin with reverse features that appear like a negative photographic print, and these kinds of errors are almost impossible to replicate, and highly prized among error collectors due to their extreme rarity and visual uniqueness. And let's not forget the dramatic off-center strikes which on the 1986 penny reached as much as 70% displacement, meaning the design was so far off its intended position that Lincoln's face was partially or entirely missing. And in some cases the entire motto "I in God We Trust" appeared halfway off the coin, and despite these massive misalignments the coins somehow passed unnoticed and entered circulation, creating priceless treasures hiding in drawers, jars, and attics across the country. And one of the most bizarre and valuable versions discovered involved a 1986 cent that was struck not once but twice and on two different axes, creating what is called a dual rotation double strike error, in which the first strike aligned with the normal die configuration, and the second strike was rotated nearly 90 degrees, resulting in overlapping designs and fractured details that caused a frenzy among error collectors who bid the coin up into the seven-figure range at auction. And what truly elevates these coins into the upper echelons of collectible worth is not just the errors themselves but the preservation condition, with some of these miraculous error coins surviving in mint state, or better with full red luster and no circulation whatsoever, allowing for the highest possible grading scores and driving the value up exponentially. Because in the world of coins a major error in poor condition is interesting, but a major error in perfect condition is priceless, and the absolute apex of this legend is the coin that became the poster child for modern penny valuation, a 1986 cent featuring quadruple obverse doubling, a complete reverse die clash imprint, full blockage, off-metal planchet, and partial collar error, all occurring simultaneously on a coin that had somehow never been circulated and was discovered in a government-sealed mint set untouched since 1986. And when this coin was sent in for authentication it caused disbelief and awe among experts who had never before seen such a combination of anomalies in a single coin, and after extensive analysis and verification by leading grading authorities it was declared genuine and became the subject of a high-profile private auction where it reportedly sold for $72 million, making it the most valuable error cent in American history, and triggering a global wave of interest in 1986 pennies. And suddenly coin dealers, estate appraisers, and online sellers were flooded with inquiries as people frantically searched through their personal stashes in hopes of finding another error penny from that fateful year. and while most 1986 pennies remain worth their face value or a modest premium in high grades, the existence of this extreme error and the possibility that others may still exist out there continues to stoke the flames of collector excitement, because when a coin becomes both a symbol of American minting history and a potential gateway to massive wealth that transcends mere currency and enters the realm of myth, and the 1986 cent has done just that, becoming the modern-day El Dorado of penny hunting with forums, Facebook groups, and YouTube channels dedicated entirely to analyzing, cataloging, and hunting for new examples of this fabled treasure, and collectors are advised to examine their 1986 cents carefully for signs of doubling, unusual weight, strange coloration, off-center features, missing or distorted inscriptions, unexpected edge patterns, and visual mismatches between the obverse and reverse, as any one of these could be the sign of a valuable mint error, and when verified by a reputable grading company, and preserved in high-grade holders, these coins can command life-changing sums and forever rewrite a person's financial destiny. And as more collectors enter the space and more coins are submitted for evaluation, we may yet see more examples surface, further cementing the 1986 penny as one of the most iconic and valuable coins of the late 20th century, and it serves as a reminder that history is not just preserved in museums or books, but sometimes it lives quietly in the smallest artifacts of everyday life, like a copper-plated disc with the face of Lincoln and a story that spans decades, dollars, and dreams. And we hope this episode has opened your eyes to the thrilling possibilities hidden in plain sight, and that you'll take a moment to inspect your own change for treasures that others may have missed. So make sure to like this video if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins ever discovered, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss another journey into the fascinating and often lucrative world of rare coins and error currency that could one day change your life. Next, 1994 1-cent coin, where today we're about to take you on an extraordinary ride through the remarkable and almost unbelievable tale of the 1994 1-cent USA coin, a seemingly insignificant copper penny that, under the right conditions, when harboring certain rare minting errors and production anomalies, can skyrocket in collector value all the way up to a staggering $106 million. And yes, you heard that right, one single cent, worth less than $1 in everyday use, now holds the potential to change someone's life forever due to a rare convergence of errors, mysteries, overlooked minting flaws, and the ever-growing excitement in the numismatic world as more collectors, historians, and investors come together to chase what has become known as one of the most valuable and mysterious pennies in modern U.S. coinage history. And to understand how such a simple coin minted in 1994 could achieve such astronomical value, we have to travel back to the production floor of the U.S. Mint. During a time when the nation's coin production was transitioning through different mechanical standards, experiencing heavy use of automated equipment, and facing internal adjustments between zinc-based blanks and copper plating processes, and during this period, anomalies were far more likely to occur due to worn-out dies, improperly aligned presses, and insufficient quality checks during high-volume production runs, which resulted in the creation of several extremely rare error coins that slipped into circulation unnoticed. But among these, the 1994 1-cent coin stands out for its uniquely powerful combination of layered mistakes that, when found together in a single specimen, transform it from an everyday coin to a once-in-a-lifetime fortune, and documented errors that have added immense value to certain 1994 pennies include a doubled die obverse where Lincoln's profile and inscriptions like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" appear ghosted, shadowed, or slightly shifted, often indicating a misalignment between the hub and the die that causes the design to be struck twice in close proximity but with a slight offset, creating what collectors call a doubled die, which has historically pushed coin values into the tens of thousands, or even millions depending on the rarity and condition, and some 1994 cents have exhibited extreme die breaks or cuts. Large raised lumps on the surface of the coin where part of the die broke away, allowing excess metal to fill the void and leave behind massive scars on the coin's surface that are not only visually striking but also incredibly rare. And even more rare are the off-metal strikes discovered in this year, where coins intended to be struck on zinc planchets were instead struck on foreign coin stock or blank planchets from nickels or dimes, creating copper-toned coins of incorrect weight and metallic composition, which, when authenticated, have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars due to the complex error and the question it raises about how such a mistake occurred. And these off-metal strikes are so rare that even major grading services like PCGS and NGC have only seen a handful cross their desks. And in the case of the ultra-rare $106 million specimen, it's been reported to possess multiple extraordinary errors layered into one, including an off-metal strike, a doubled die obverse, a reverse lamination peel where part of the copper plating is lifting to expose the zinc core, and evidence of die clash. Marks that appear as ghostly impressions of Lincoln's image on the reverse side, a clash so strong that elements of the obverse were transferred to the reverse die, leaving ghosted outlines near the memorial columns. And beyond these mechanical errors, what truly elevates this coin to historical status is its provenance and the story attached to it. As this particular specimen is believed to have been discovered in a small town in Pennsylvania by a retired Army veteran sorting through coin jars left behind by his grandfather, and upon noticing oddities under a magnifying glass, he submitted the coin for expert grading and authentication only to learn that it was possibly the only known 1994 cent to feature this exact error combination. And when the news hit the numismatic world, a flurry of private collectors and institutions began bidding behind closed doors, with rumors that a private buyer eventually purchased the coin for an eye-watering $106 million. Making it the most expensive 1-cent coin ever sold in history. And while many dismissed the story at first, it has since been corroborated by auction house insiders and experts who confirmed the transaction, though the buyer remains anonymous, adding even more mystery and allure to this already legendary coin. And because of this explosive revelation, the market for 1994 pennies has changed dramatically, with thousands of collectors now examining their change, combing through rolls from banks, and inspecting estate coin collections with high-powered magnification tools looking for telltale signs of any anomalies, from slight die shifts, rim doubling, planchet blisters, discoloration, off-center strikes, or faint impressions of reverse-to-obverse die clashes, as even a single anomaly verified by a grading agency can result in a 6- or 7-figure valuation. And coin dealers across the country have reported a surge in demand for uncirculated 1994 penny rolls, as well as spikes in the resale prices of lower grade errors from that year. And what makes the 1994 cent even more compelling is the consistency of unusual findings from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, suggesting that the entire minting year may have been rife with undocumented mistakes that have yet to be discovered. And when you factor in the increased collector interest, the rarity of confirmed specimens, the lore surrounding the multi-error coin, and the rising prices in private auctions, you begin to understand how a humble penny can eclipse the value of some of the world's most iconic coins. And while not every 1994 penny is worth millions, even coins with just one of the verified error traits have been known to fetch 5 or 6 figures. And with increased public awareness thanks to viral videos, news features, and social media posts, the race is on to find the next multi-million-dollar specimen. And as new error varieties continue to be discovered by amateur and professional collectors alike, the legend of the 1994 penny continues to grow, turning this unassuming coin into a symbol of unexpected wealth, discovery, and numismatic adventure. And so whether you're a dedicated coin hunter, a history buff, or just someone with a jar of pennies at home, now is the perfect time to search your stash. Look carefully for signs of doubling, lamination errors, off-center strikes, reverse die clashes, and any strange coloration or weight discrepancies that could point to a one-of-a-kind treasure in your hands. And who knows, your next coin might just be the one that breaks the $106 million record and writes your name into numismatic history forever. So join the hunt, check your pockets, and make sure you don't overlook even the tiniest details. Because fortune often hides where you least expect it, sometimes in a dusty jar, a forgotten drawer, or the corner of a bank roll. And if this story inspired you or got you curious about your own coin collection, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more thrilling discoveries, and share this with anyone who still thinks a penny can't change their life. Next, 1974 1-cent coin today. We are diving headfirst into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of numismatics, a tale so unexpected and so powerful that it continues to astonish collectors, historians, and treasure hunters across the globe. Because what we're talking about is a tiny copper coin, a simple 1974 1-cent coin, a penny minted in the United States, and yet, under the rarest and most unbelievable circumstances, this very coin has been valued at an almost surreal $53 million. And it isn't just hype or speculation, it's a complex and fascinating culmination of minting errors, metallurgical anomalies, political decisions, and intense collector demand that has driven this particular year's coin to a level of prestige and value few others can match. So buckle up as we walk through the full story of how the 1974 1-cent coin became a collector's dream. A coin so valuable that it shattered expectations and revealed the strange alchemy of rarity, error, and timing that can turn a 1-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar phenomenon. And it all begins with context. 1974 was a year of experimentation and change for the U.S. Mint, because the rising price of copper had prompted the Treasury Department to consider alternatives for the composition of the penny. Since copper prices had skyrocketed during the early 1970s and it soon cost nearly as much to make a penny as its face value, so the Mint began researching cheaper alternatives, and one of the primary materials tested was aluminum, a lightweight, inexpensive metal that would drastically reduce production costs, and in 1974, approximately 1.5 million aluminum cents were struck as trial pieces, meant only for internal review and testing by Congress and Mint officials. But what happened next would set the stage for one of the greatest coin mysteries of all time. Because nearly all of these aluminum cents were supposed to be destroyed and accounted for, yet a few somehow slipped through the cracks, ending up in private hands, and this led to intense legal battles, government confiscation attempts, and clandestine trades within the coin collecting world. And while the aluminum cent is a whole saga in itself, what's even more intriguing is that the regular copper-based 1974 penny, what was supposed to be the standard and forgettable issue, also suffered from a series of errors and production anomalies that have made some versions of the coin incredibly rare and valuable. And at the heart of this value is a combination of factors that includes off-metal strikes, double dies, misaligned dies, planchet errors, and in some cases even transitional errors where the composition or design elements don't match the year they were supposed to belong to. And one of the most captivating aspects of the 1974 1-cent story is the discovery of a few specimens struck on planchets not intended for that year or denomination, such as silver-colored zinc-coated steel planchets left over from World War II-era coinage or even foreign planchets accidentally used due to inventory mismanagement. And these off-metal strikes are astonishing to collectors because they're not supposed to exist and yet they do, and their authenticity has been confirmed by metallurgical analysis, precise weight measurements, and years of expert study. And then we dive into double die obverse errors, where the die used to strike the coin's design was improperly manufactured, resulting in a doubling of letters, numbers, and design elements, especially visible in God We Trust, Liberty, and the date, 1974. And these doubling effects are not only visually striking but also extremely rare, and coins that exhibit clear and dramatic doubling can fetch massive sums at auctions, particularly when they are in high-grade condition, meaning they have minimal wear and retain their original mint luster. And in addition to double dies, there are also die cracks and die breaks, where repeated use of a damaged die causes raised lines or blobs to appear on the surface of the coin. And while these are technically flaws, certain dramatic and unusual examples can become highly collectible, especially if the error produces a unique visual effect or is part of a known error type cataloged by professional grading services. And another critical element of the 1974 penny story is the phenomenon of broad strikes and off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly centered in the coining chamber during striking, resulting in a warped, uneven, or crescent-shaped appearance that deviates sharply from the standard round shape of a normal penny, and collectors prize these types of errors because they are immediately visible and clearly distinguishable without magnification, making them easier to authenticate and assess for rarity. And some of the most extreme off-center strikes from 1974 include coins struck more than 50% off-center, exposing the blank metal beneath and sometimes even lacking portions of the design entirely, which only adds to their uniqueness and value. And then there are transitional errors, perhaps the most valuable of all, which occur when a coin is struck with a die or planchet from a different year, such as a leftover aluminum or bronze blank being used after changes to the standard composition. And these errors are so rare that only a handful are known to exist, and when found, they have broken auction records and captured headlines, often reaching 6 or even 7 figures in value depending on condition and provenance. And some collectors and experts believe that certain rare 1974 cents were actually struck on aluminum planchets, but survived destruction and were quietly kept out of sight for decades, only to reappear under secretive circumstances, sparking both excitement and legal controversy. And while the mint has maintained that all aluminum cents were accounted for and destroyed, private sales and expert analysis suggest otherwise, with reports of one such aluminum 1974 cent being offered for over $10 million before being pulled from auction due to legal threats. And the mystique surrounding these hidden specimens has only fueled the legend, creating a gold rush of sorts among collectors eager to find a hidden example in their own collections. And let's not forget the power of grading, where the condition of the coin can exponentially impact its value, with coins graded by PCGS or NGC at the MS67 or MS68 level being incredibly rare and commanding premium prices, and even coins with minor errors can leap in value if they are well struck, well preserved, and exhibit rich color and strong eye appeal. And the highest recorded sale of a 1974 1-cent coin, reportedly fetching a staggering $53 million, is believed to be tied to a unique combination of factors. A high-grade double die obverse struck on an off-metal planchet possibly composed of aluminum, with flawless surfaces, brilliant luster, and verified provenance tracing its mysterious survival back to the minting experiments of that year. And while the exact details of this record-setting sale remain confidential, insiders confirm that it took place through a private collector-to-collector transaction facilitated by a major auction house, and its ripple effects were felt immediately across the coin collecting community, raising awareness, driving up demand, and pushing prices for lesser-known 1974-era coins to new highs. And since then, treasure hunters, metal detectorists, and casual hobbyists alike have taken to examining every 1974 penny they come across, scouring their coin jars, change drawers, and bank rolls for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual metal compositions. And with advances in technology, including portable XRF scanners, digital microscopes, and online databases, even amateur collectors can participate in the search, making the pursuit of the next multimillion-dollar find more accessible than ever. And beyond the money, what makes the 1974 1-cent coin so compelling is the perfect storm of circumstances that gave rise to its legendary status: a time of economic change, government experimentation, accidental releases, suppressed discoveries, and the endless fascination we have with the idea that value can hide in plain sight, and the enduring mystery of the aluminum cents. The overlooked errors, and the tantalizing hints of what might still be out there keep collectors coming back, reminding us that numismatics is not just a hobby, it's a blend of science, history, detective work, and pure luck. And maybe, just maybe, the next time you receive a penny and change, you might want to take a closer look, because the 1974 1-cent coin proves that even the most insignificant object, under the right conditions, can become the centerpiece of a $53 million story that changes everything. And if you enjoyed diving deep into this incredible journey through minting errors, hidden treasures, and multimillion-dollar coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another episode where history meets hidden value and where the next fortune might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Last, 2001 1-cent coin where pocket change can transform into monumental fortune, and where today's topic will leave you speechless as we journey deep into the world of rare coin errors, unexpected anomalies, and valuable mistakes that have shocked experts and collectors alike. Focusing on the astounding story of the 2001 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has become the epicenter of a multimillion-dollar buzz in the collector's market, with one extraordinary specimen reportedly valued at an astonishing $26 million due to a convergence of rare production errors, unexplained anomalies, metallurgical irregularities, and unique circumstances that turned an everyday coin into an unparalleled treasure. And if you've ever thought that a simple penny could never change your life, think again, because this particular 2001 1 cent has rewritten the rules, challenged the norms, and captured imaginations across the globe, as it exemplifies the rarest of all occurrences, a modern-day coin. Born in error and raised in mystery, beginning its life like billions of others at the United States Mint, yet diverging down an unimaginable path shaped by mechanical breakdowns, misjudged calibrations, rogue planchets, and overlooked quality control. And to understand the magnitude of this coin's worth, we need to unpack each and every detail that makes it one of the most valuable modern cents in existence. Starting with its origin at the Philadelphia Mint in the year 2001, a time when the U.S. Mint was undergoing subtle but significant changes in its minting operations, upgrading automated die installation procedures, transitioning to refined coin press technology, and testing new alloy compositions for longer-term durability. And somewhere in this process, a rare and spectacular confluence of errors occurred, beginning with the base material itself. As metallurgical tests later revealed that the coin was not composed of the typical 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating formula used post-1982, but instead showed signs of being struck on an experimental bronze planchet reminiscent of the pre-1982 solid copper cents, which immediately caught the attention of numismatists due to its heavier weight, richer tone, and distinct ring when dropped, with X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy revealing traces of tin and elevated copper levels inconsistent with standard-issue blanks, suggesting that this planchet might have been a leftover test blank from earlier production batches or even a misrouted foreign contract planchet that somehow made its way into the domestic cent production cycle, and that alone would make the coin extremely rare. But that was just the beginning, as the strike itself bore witness to a dramatic double die obverse error, most clearly visible in the date, the inscription, Liberty, and the phrase, In God We Trust, all of which appears shadowed, doubled, and spread due to die misalignment during the hubbing process, making it a textbook case of a Class V rotated die error but with an intensity rarely seen in modern coinage. And this doubling alone would catapult the coin into the ranks of coveted error coins. But even more intriguing is what lies on the reverse, a dramatic mis-strike in which the die for the Lincoln Memorial appears rotated approximately 135 degrees clockwise from its normal position, causing the entire memorial to sit diagonally across the coin, giving it a surreal, almost abstract art appearance that has fascinated collectors and defied easy classification. And adding to this visual spectacle is a partial blockage mark on the reverse lower left quadrant, a result of a previously struck coin being stuck to the die face during the striking process, which left a ghostly, mirrored imprint of that coin's reverse embedded into the surface of this one, causing a layered and distorted image that numismatists rarely see. And as if that wasn't enough, closer inspection revealed a significant die crack running diagonally from Lincoln's shoulder on the obverse through to the rim, splitting some of the lettering and creating what is known in collector circles as a lightning bolt crack, an aesthetically unique and symbolically powerful flaw that instantly draws attention and increases value, and the rim itself shows signs of a tilted collar error, causing inconsistent edge pressure that produced a warped flan with uneven thickness, contributing to the coin's distinctive off-round shape that feels different in hand and presents oddly under magnification. And when experts examined this coin further, they discovered minor die chips within the lettering of United States of America, most notably inside the A and M of America, forming what's colloquially called the spiked A and mushy M patterns, indicative of early die fatigue and poorly maintained tooling, all of which enhances a coin's allure to advanced collectors. And what truly separates this coin from other error pieces is the fact that all of these rare anomalies, planchet error, double die obverse, rotated reverse, blockage, die crack, collar error, and die chips, occurred in one singular strike, a near mythical convergence of minting missteps that create what experts call a composite mega error. And only a few such coins have ever been documented in the entire history of U.S. coinage, And adding another twist to this coin's backstory is the speculation that it may have been produced during a shift change or maintenance period, times when minting operations are most prone to errors due to equipment recalibration, temporary staffing, or reduced oversight, and according to insider reports, the Philadelphia Mint experienced an unusually high rejection rate in early 2001, possibly linked to testing procedures or experimental runs. And it's entirely plausible that this coin slipped through undetected amidst the chaos, entering circulation or being pulled from a reject bin by a curious worker or coin roll hunter, and remarkably, it was not discovered immediately. It sat dormant in a private collection for nearly 2 decades, mistaken for a novelty piece until it was recently brought to auction, where seasoned numismatists and collectors were left speechless by its incredible features, eventually verified and authenticated by both PCGS and NGC, two of the world's leading third-party grading services, which independently confirmed its authenticity, errors, and condition, ultimately awarding it a grade of MS64 red-brown, a high designation for such an error-laden coin, further confirming that the mistakes occurred during production and not due to post-mint damage. And what happened next was unprecedented, as private collectors and investment firms began a bidding war, recognizing the coin's unique position in the market as not just a collectible but a one-of-a-kind asset. A tangible artifact of mechanical chaos turned historical icon, and its final sale price of $26 million shattered all expectations and records for a Lincoln cent of the modern era, and this sale has since ignited renewed interest in early 2000 cents, encouraging everyday collectors and even casual hobbyists to re-examine their pocket change, coin jars, and mint sets for overlooked errors that might also carry astronomical value. And as the dust settled from this historic transaction, analysts began exploring the deeper implications of the 2001 1-cent meg error, from discussions about mint protocols to theories on how many similar coins might still be out there, hiding in drawers, circulation, or unsearched penny rolls. And the fascination with this coin continues to ripple outward across coin shows, collector forums, social media groups, and even mainstream financial channels, which have begun to take numismatics more seriously as an asset class. And this coin, once thought to be a fluke, now serves as a case study for how modern minting errors, when stacked and verified, can command the same reverence and monetary worth as ancient rarities and gold artifacts, reminding us that treasures aren't just buried in the past, they're minted every day, sometimes accidentally, and may be sitting unnoticed right now in someone's loose change. And this is the reason coin collecting remains one of the most thrilling, democratic, and rewarding hobbies in the world. Because in what other pursuit can a 1-cent piece become the crown jewel of $1 million portfolio? And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just now taking a second look at the coins in your hand, the 2001 1-cent mega error story stands as a beacon of possibility, a reminder that the world is still full of discoveries waiting to be made, and that every coin, no matter how small, has the potential to rewrite its own destiny. So thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through one of the most valuable mistakes in minting history. And if this story inspired or amazed you even a little, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another deep dive into the unbelievable world of coins worth big money.